Syracuse is back home and ready for a bounce-back opportunity after an OT loss at North Carolina over the weekend. Tonight's opponent is Georgia Tech, fresh off a win against Florida State. We're officially past the midway point of conference play as the Orange and Yellow Jackets face off in a pivotal ACC matchup. With that, welcome courtside here inside the JMA Wireless Dome with Riley Underwood. I'm Sam Reese. Riley, a great chance for Syracuse to be back at home, but also Georgia Tech to snatch a big road win.
Georgia Tech head coach Karen Blair told her team earlier today, we have an opportunity. That opportunity to get a quad one win over a really good Syracuse squad.
That's right, and one player in particular that will give them that chance, Talia Walker, who has been absolutely electric on the offensive end for the Yellow Jackets. What a rejection and takeaway by Burrows. Schmidt the no-look pass, Filia pops a three, it's good! Layla Filia from downtown, and Syracuse is running away with it. What great defense by Filia. She can score and she can cause turnovers. Here is Filia, floats one down inside, back out, Burrows for three, bank it home. Sophie Burrows knocks down her first three-point try, and oh yeah, she can get the steals too. She just had one there, a steal and the score for Dominique Darius. And the steal by Schmidt. Burrows pushes it ahead, Fitzgerald the bucket. Velez trying to break the press, nearly tied up. Oh, and she beats the buzzer in epic fashion. Hall drives inside, loses the handle. 10th turnover for the Lakers. Nelson feeds it to the corner, Potts another three, she did it again. 2 threes for Maddie Potts in the last couple of minutes, and Syracuse has its most points in a first half this season. Is there one more basket? Yes, it's another and one for Jasmine Cooper. The freshman showing out down the stretch of the third quarter with 97. How about that three? Nothing but net from Gabby Sweeney. She notches her first points of the game, has only played 4 minutes, but Olivia Schmidt says, I can do that as well. Syracuse has hit the century mark. The amount of students expected today, about 3 times the enrollment of Mercyhurst, has the Lakers inbound and the full court press on right away. Darius inside to Izoje. She collects in the far corner, and Syracuse calms things down a little bit with the early 7-point lead in the first ever meeting between these two squads. The Lakers part of the NEC. In and out for Darius, offensive board, and Hawkins cleans it up for 2.
We're going to be talking about it all game long. That height advantage is something that Syracuse is going to take advantage of. Mercyhurst has to figure out a way to put a body on somebody.
The Lakers just took advantage of Syracuse not back defensively, but the Orange fly the other way, and Izoje reestablishes a 9-point SU lead. A bit of a fast pace out of the timeout called by Erin Mills-Reed, head coach of Mercyhurst, who spoke with us yesterday and mentioned that her players want these type of challenges, playing quality D1 schools. They've already played 3 different ranked opponents, and it's all about the experiences for these players who, some of them were playing Division II basketball just a few years ago.
Yeah, that's a young team, and Coach talked about how she wants these experiences for them, and they want the experiences for themselves. 3 out of the 6 ranked opponents for the Northeast Conference went to Mercyhurst, and they wanted those games. So they're all for the competition, for the schedule and ranked opponents, but got to show up, and here it is right now.
They went to Michigan State, Iowa State, and West Virginia. Burrows, can she knock it down again? You bet. She's 2 for 2 from deep, and Sophie Burrows heating up for 3 is never a good sign for the opposition.
No, she is lethal from the 3-point line. She got going early. She's not going to stop.
Hall tries her luck, and she drills it. Erica Hall, 2 for 2 from downtown. She knocked down 1-3 as a part of her 26-point performance, but really showing that she can be an outside shooter as well. And she has all 8 of Mercyhurst's points so far.
That's what Mercyhurst is going to have to do. Get Izojay out of the game if they want to stay in.
And there's Izojay just using her physical prowess. The 6'3" freshman makes it a double-digit lead. Syracuse has knocked down its last 4 shots. And Izojay up to 7 points. That's a travel against CC Hernandez, the only player in today's starting lineup that was a part of last year's starting lineup consistently for the Lakers, who went 9-18 in their first year in Division I. 0-10 so far this year. Burrows this time mid-range. Izojay the board. And she walked. Seemed like just a little indecisiveness there after the offensive board, Kyra.
She was trying to keep it high and get around those small defenders, but lost her footing there.
The first turnover of the game by Syracuse. Mercyhurst has 3 so far. Alina Fazzetti into the game. She's been a mixture of a starter and a bench player. Nice Euro step, and Hernandez gets the roll.
2 players that had a phenomenal game last game are coming in, starting this game off strong for the Mercyhurst Lakers.
But how about the transition play down low to Shy Hawkins for 2? 21-10, Orange in front, and Hawkins can steal it as well. What a play. Darius thinks about the 3, swung to the near corner with Layla Filia. And Izojay fouled down low. It's ruled on the floor. And something early on that's been a strong point for Syracuse, Kyra, the transition play of Syracuse.
Yeah, Mercyhurst is not getting back, and Syracuse is leaking out. They're going to go for those easy buckets. Why not? I mean, it's right there for you if they're not defending you. They got to figure out a way to match up early.
That foul was on Fazzetti as she takes a seat. Izojay gets a second chance here, puts it up and in. What a start for Uche Izojay. Syracuse up 28-18 over Georgia Tech with Riley Underwood. I'm Sam Reese. Riley, offensively things maybe have slowed down a bit, but the defensive battle has been at the forefront and is why the Orange are on top by 10.
I think so. I mean, this is a low-scoring affair, especially on Syracuse's part, I would say. I think they were expecting to really come out hot, and that's what they kind of did come out hot a little bit, but then they went on that shooting slump. That's what Felicia Legette-Jack said she wasn't happy with her team about in the UNC loss, is that they just started off slow.
Scott with a 3, got it!
It's her first 3 of the year.
1 for 4 on the season, and a quick steal by Filia, all the way to the cup, count it. 5 quick points for Syracuse. That came out of nowhere.
I think they heard me. I think they heard me saying they were starting off slow. 5 points in about a span of 5 seconds.
That was fast. And what was a 10-point lead quickly has turned into 15. Cooper can't save that one. It stays with Georgia Tech. Let's go back to that sequence. First, the 3-pointer. Kira Scott, not a known 3-point shooter, but she looked natural there. And then moments later, the Filia steal as well. What a sequence. We welcome you back. Closing in on tip-off, about 20 minutes away from Delaware State and Syracuse facing off for the first time ever from inside the JMA Wireless Dome. But here in our Newhouse studio, he's Arnav Pokrell, I'm Sam Reese, and let's focus a little bit on the Hornets because unlike Syracuse, who opened on Monday, they actually went to Temple on Wednesday to open up their season.
Yeah, it was a solid performance front to back from the Hornets. Just fell apart a little bit at the end in the last 15 minutes. But overall, really happy with how the Hornets played. You can't complain, but the athleticism for Temple was on display early. It's something that you might see a similarity with between the Owls and the Orange is that athletic front court. The Owls were all over the dunks early on, but then Delaware State grew into the game.
Zion Bethea in particular was really good in his debut. He led the team with 20 points, and by the way, this is his 5th school after coming over most recently from Pepperdine.
Yeah, it's a player who's been around the block. It's experience. That's exactly what you need for a Delaware State team that has struggled in the MEAC as of the past couple of seasons. To make that next step up, maybe get to the March Madness tournament, you need experience, and that's exactly what Bethea provides.
This was only an 8-point game, I should say, at halftime. Delaware State was within 2, but then in the final 15 minutes, that's when Temple really took off and gained some separation.
And that's where you see the depth of the Owls compared to the depth of Delaware State. The Hornets maybe go 7 deep, 2 off the bench to play in this game, and Temple was very clearly more ready for the final game. And you'll see, I mean, overall, Delaware State, you can't complain. 7 for 16 from 3, shooting just about 50%. That's where you want to be in game 1. It allows a lot of space for growth over this weekend.
Again, a single-digit point game for a long time. 83-65, the final score, and we already touched on Zion Bethea, but he is worth highlighting because of what he can do both in the paint, but also the ability to knock down shots from beyond the arc.
And it's the intelligence that he brings. Being his 5th year, 5 different schools, he's adaptable, has played in so many different offenses in his collegiate career, and you saw that on display. He takes a couple of dribbles, finds a lane, finds a pass. He's a very decisive player, and I loved watching that game against Temple because as soon as he made a decision, didn't second guess it, went after it, and even if it didn't work out, he'd go right back and try again.
He knocked down 4 of Delaware State's 7 threes. 4 3-pointers is how much Syracuse made as a whole in its opener against Binghamton. So that's the one area where if you think the Hornets have a chance to make this competitive, this man can heat up from downtown.
Yeah, a really positive outing in game 1 and a lot to build on this weekend. It's not just this game against Syracuse. They go away to Niagara over the weekend. So a weekend of games in New York to continue to build on that presence for Bethea.
And it's not just Bethea who impressed in the season opening loss for Delaware State. How about the sophomore Ponce James, who is an all-MEAC rookie team member last year for what he did in his freshman season? 16 points on Wednesday night against Temple.
Yeah, and with how good he was in his freshman year, how about being named to the MEAC preseason team this year? Really impressive stuff from him. You talk about Bethea's decisiveness. Ponce James brings creativity to this Hornets side. He loves to dribble through a couple of players, will go down to the paint, slash and dish out. Really positive stuff from him as well in that loss.
Delaware State hoping that the likes of both James and Bethea can shine bright today at the JMA Dome to pull off what would be an impressive upset, to say the least. All right, time for another break, but after this, we're joined by our game analyst, Eric Devendorf. Stick around.